What's up, Lions fans? Welcome to Season 1, Episode 33 of the Lions Main Podcast. On this episode, we recap the Bears-Lions, give out our game balls, and then preview the 49ers game. As always, thanks for your support. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube at Lions Main Podcast.
Right.
This is the Lions Main Podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome. We've been away for a little while. So Christmas has happened. This is the day after Christmas we're recording this. Jim, how's your Christmas been?
Great Christmas. Good presents. Definitely carbo loaded. Definitely packed on the food, packed on the weight. Nothing wrong with it. Good, healthy weight. We did obviously take a little bit of time off. I think it was a combination of feeling sad about ourselves after the Bills game, even though you and Kane recounted that game, as well as the holidays. And our two of our fearless co-hosts here, they're on vacation. One's in Cancun, one's in Hawaii. So, can't blame them for not hopping on and talking about Week 17 Monday Night Football matchup against another clobbered injured team. But George and I, we got nothing better to do, so we're here.
Right. So I'm glad you had a good holiday.
How was yours?
Mine was good. Good to spend time with family, and got to rush home to record this. So my mom loved that. She loved that I prioritized this.
Well, let's be clear about something. The Southern European households, I think, have a different concept of time, and when things happen, then I'd say most of America that's white is Nordic in origin, either British or Irish or German, where it's like, hey, you get dinner's at like 6 o'clock, you go to bed at 10 o'clock. You Greeks, you do it later. You said you didn't even have breakfast by what time was it?
Well, that was a combination of things. We didn't wake up until noon. That's just because we were up super late. My family likes to stay up super late. That's just what we do. Then we sleep in, especially on days off. Kidding me? And then, then my brother was at the gym. They're like, you don't mind waiting for breakfast until he gets back? He takes forever there. It's like 3 p.m. by the time we had breakfast. So anyways, haven't eaten dinner, and it's 11. So because dinner, there's no chance it was ready before I left. But
you got work tomorrow?
No, I do not. I am on break until the new year. So grateful for that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, while we were away, we watched the Bears game. I don't know, where did you watch the Bears game, Jim?
Oh my God, that's a great question. Where even was I? What day was
we
it?
all met up at the wood shop, a lot of us from back home, and it was fun. Good times.
Yeah, I had to get my furnace replaced. One of the joys of home ownership. You get railed by the costs, so those seen and those unforeseen. But yeah, no, I just watched it at home. It was never in doubt, so I kind of was just casually watching it in my bed. I had a little bit of FOMO because it was probably awesome to see it on a projector where you guys were watching it. But sometimes you got to take one for the team and shell out $4,000 to get a new furnace.
That's what you did? I didn't know you had to get a new one. You had to get a new one?
Brand new? Oh yeah. Our furnace could legally smoke tobacco for over a decade if it was a person. So don't know why I put it that way, but that's the reality of the situation. She had to go.
All right. Well, that's a kick in the nuts, and I'm sorry to hear that. Merry Christmas to you, and you'll have a warm New Year at least.
Yeah, sure will.
That'll be nice.
Yeah.
Anyways, watch the Bears game. It was awesome to watch, especially the fake. I didn't even think it was fake at the time. I know everybody's talking. That's the talk of the town with that game. Because I remember we were watching it, and Clark says to me, he's like, was that on purpose? And I looked over at Clark. I was like, there's no way that's on purpose. They would never do something like that. And then, lo and behold, we watched the replay. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I was caught up in, not watching that right away. Who knows? But I did not think that was fake. And then I watched it. I was like, holy shit. That's just the well is deep type shit. So,
well, I think I think it got everybody except for the Lions team. Like I literally was watching and I heard fumble. And apparently the Lions players yelled that. I heard fumble and I was freaking out. I was like, what the hell's going on? Look around. And then I see him stumbling. I'm like, this, in your head, you're panicking. Then you see him step like upright, throw downfield. I'm like, what the hell? In real time, there's no way. Like, it was so hard to tell in real time what the hell is going on. Like, the replay, I think it became obvious, like you said, but during it was, pants were getting a little wet, not in the fun way. My pants were, a little bit of pee leaked out because I was like, oh, if we fumbled this, we're only up by 10 or whatever we were up by, they're going to get the ball back.
Right. And, oh, God, that was so, I mean, once you see Sam catch it, you're like, oh, thank God. You're like, okay. So you're like, sweet. Replay came by. Awesome. I think this game went, Kane and I were talking about this preview a little bit, and we were just hoping that Caleb Williams would do some stupid shit. And I mean, I wouldn't say stupid shit necessarily, but not the playmaking plays that we were fearing, because somehow the Bears typically, they didn't this time, but they'll just rise up and play like a playoff team for nothing against us. That's just the way it's always been. Even like the bad teams will show up on days. So,
well, I hate to give the Bears credit, and I know that Caleb Williams is everyone's least favorite person. Look, I don't like the guy on a personal level. I think he's kind of annoying. I don't think he's going to be as awesome as like his biggest fans thought, but the dude has clear talent. Like, if you watch the games, he's not like people say bust. He is not a bust. I'm not trying to take a dig at Trevor Lawrence, but I think he looked better than Trevor Lawrence ever did his rookie year, and has probably looked comparable to how he's looked. He's got good receivers, a horrible offensive line. The defense has fallen apart without Eberflus. Say what you want about Eberflus. He wasn't a good NFL coach, but I think he was better than whatever the hell they got going on now. I never want to give too many compliments to like a 4-11. I think they're at the end of the game against Seahawks. Could be 4-12 team, but they're better than your average 4-12 team, in my opinion. And Caleb, look, he didn't do enough to win them the game. He had some moments where he screwed up, but he has some nice throws. He does, and he screwed up that one handoff, which is on him, but he had a couple of explosive plays that, I pray that Ben Johnson doesn't go there, because I do think that Caleb, unfortunately, could be a pretty good QB with the right guy manning that offense and with a decent offensive line.
Yeah, that was my only worry when Eberflus got fired, because I was like, you know what? This is actually, I don't want us to lose, but that would have been an affordable loss, the first run with the Bears. We would have lost. Eberflus would have looked like a hero for beating a good team. He would have stuck around. Because if Ben Johnson goes to the Bears, I'm not going to even get ahead of myself and say anything crazy yet like that, but that would make me sicker than I've been sick in a while as far as this team goes.
It'd be slightly traitorous. Like, what I still appreciate, especially if we won a Super Bowl, I'd get over it. If we don't win the Super Bowl and he goes there, I'm not going to say I won't like the guy, but I mean, I'm not going to be rooting for him. I'm not going to root for him to succeed.
No, I would wish the absolute worst to him if he did that. I would love for him to stay. I love the guy right now. He's amazing, but I would be really, really hurt if he went to the Bears specifically.
I'd like him to stay too, but I think there's a couple other NFL jobs that the Bears job is awesome because of Caleb. Hypothetically, I mean, if you believe in his talent, which I do, and I think he probably does, but there's going to be other jobs, and I think some of the other ones are going to be interesting as well. I think the one that no one's going to want is the Giants job. But the Jags job with Trevor Lawrence and some solid defensive pieces, that could be appealing as well. No state income taxes, just gets to go to a really relatively easy division. Bayard doesn't pan out, that culture back to square one. Will Levis is, I think Shannon Sharp said he looks like Josh Allen but plays like Woody Allen. And then the Texans, I mean, CJ Stroud looks, I don't even know, man. It's almost a bummer. Like, I was never like a CJ Stroud lover, but never a hater, just a neutral, he's a good quarterback.
You liked him because he spoke pretty, talked about Stafford a lot, which was cool. And about the stuff that we used to watch. So like, it gave me like this sudden appreciation for a player I'd never really cared about.
I didn't have positive opinion on him. I mean, I didn't dislike him. And I think he last year looked like a really good quarterback, but against the Ravens, yes, his offensive line is bad. There was like 5 throws, and that's not an exaggeration, on like 2 drives where he just straight up missed guys. Easy throws too, like the type where your offensive coordinator is like, okay, we're going to slow stuff down. We're going to get you an easy completion. Just missed, like stalled out several of their drives. And, we're getting a little bit off topic, which is my fault, but that long-winded way of saying, like, I don't think that division is that formidable, or he could stay in the NFC North, have to deal with his former team who, even if you say like we take a step back on offense, we're still getting better on defense, still have a lot of weapons on offense. We're probably still a 12, 13 win team. Packers, hate to say it, are not a bad team. The Vikings, if they can keep Sam Darnold and get some out of J.J. McCarthy, decent. So I don't know.
They're all pretty good. That's the thing. Even the Bears are pretty good. They get a bad rap, I think.
They do.
And I think if any Packers fans listen to this, they're gonna be pissed at you just now for the way you just kind of they're all right.
I mean, they're good, but what do they want me to say? It's like a Michigan's, as a Michigan State fan, it's like me giving Michigan any credit. I'm not going to do it.
I'm fine with that. Fuck 'em.
I don't care if they won the national title. I'll say cheat. Even if it was a really good team that was 15-0, I'll say whatever I need to do to make myself feel better about it. And that's what I'll say about the Packers. They do the same shit about the Lions. They do the Lions are overrated. We'll see you in the playoffs. I mean, who gives a shit? Anyways, yeah. No, Bears win. Good win. Do you want to do game balls real quick and then get into San Francisco?
Yeah, we can give game balls. Do you want me to start?
Please.
All right, I'm giving my game ball to Waymo. I think he had the longest catch in his season so far, correct? Is it like 82?
Yep.
82
I think
yards?
that's right.
Yeah.
For him, I don't know if it's I don't think that's for the NFL, but for...
Oh, no. For him personally, his longest catch, 82. He had 143 yards, 5 receptions. That's a good game. That's a good game from a great boy.
Little mad at Dan Campbell for not giving him the game ball, but I think it's because Tyreek Stevenson again got him to get a penalty. But Tyreek Stevenson, and not to get off topic, if there's ever been a human being who I'd like to like whack a mole like a 1950s cartoon, because I don't want to actually like physically damage him long term, but if I could like when the teeth come out like almost like in the Tom and Jerry, they're almost like piano keys. I would love to do that to Tyreek Stevenson for how he does just trashy shit to JMO. And JMO, all he does is chirp at him or throw a ball at him, and the ref goes, I mean, you trip in, shove in, get bashed over the head like a 50s cartoon. But anyways, that's a great pick. I think Waymo's really coming to his own, especially later on in the season. And I just love our passing attack right now. Love our running game. We can get Monty back, great. I think Amik Robertson's my game ball. And my biggest concern out of the 3 injuries, a lot of people, obviously Monty stinks because that 2-headed monster is great. And I think it gives us a lot of advantages and a lot of different ways to play things. Aleem McNeil was probably our best healthy defensive player left. Brian Branch, when he's at his best and healthy, is probably that. But, it's an argument. But to me, Carlton Davis was my biggest concern just because I didn't want to go back to, and no offense, Kindle Vildor is not as bad as I think. It just sucks that he, was the starter in an NFC title game and they gave up some crucial play. You know what I mean?
He did really good against the Colts this year too.
He did not have a great game. He's a good backup guy. He's a good for 1 or 2 games, spot start or
plays.
If he needs to come in for a drive, plays, okay, or drives. But yeah, that's fair. But anyways, I did not want to see him or someone that just isn't an NFL starter at a high level out there for the playoffs. And I think this current lineup they've got, until Carlton Davis can maybe return in like the championship round of the Super Bowl if we make it that far. Amik Robertson on one side, TA on the other, who had 1 or 2 missed plays, but a couple of awesome plays in that game. And then Brian Branch as a nickelback with Ife Melifonwu, who's huge to get back. I think people forgot about him, including myself. He was awesome to end last year. So getting him back's huge. And Kirby's obviously doing his thing back there. And so to me, I'm not worried at all about our back 7. What the linebackers are going to get healthy. Now we don't have Derek Barnes, but you're going to get Anzalone back and Jerem back. I like that back 7. I think that's going to be fine. Where I think we're still going to have some slight issues is getting that pass rush, that pressure. You're going to need to simulate that. But long-winded way of saying I really like the way that they quickly fixed, or at least quickly, patched up that starting secondary unit and put Amik outside. I think we've got some good matchups against some of the better teams in the league where he can actually because Terrion's a bigger physical corner and he can cover the AJ Browns, the Christian Watsons, the Justin Jeffersons. You've got a guy like Amik who can keep up with some of the smaller receivers, the Jordan Addisons, the Devonta Smiths, the Jaden Reeves. Not saying he's going to be like perfect. There's going to be some moments where they're going to have big plays on him, but he can do it is the bottom line.
Right. I think that's a great game ball. And like you mentioned Terrion too. Terrion had an awesome play in the Chicago game. Like he just did just classic form form coverage bat out of the air. I don't even know what you would call it. I didn't play that, but damn, I was like, I saw that. I literally said, damn. I was like, that's good. That's as good as it gets.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
just perfectly played, like a little sticky, which is what you want to be, a little sticky. I think he's going to come into his own and he's going to be so good. I love that. I saw that and I said, we're going to be all right.
yeah,
Be all
yeah.
right.
No, he's had some tough matchups and he's fought through them. And DJ Moore was doing a set. He unplugged his keyboards and didn't let him play the music anymore. So that was sweet. But I love that. Love that win. Good to get that. Now this week is crucial. It's a banged up 49ers team, but with the Packers having a legitimate chance to kind of beat the Vikings, give us back full control of the 1 seed, we got to go in and do this. I think they're going to be motivated and ready to go, but I think the 49ers are one of those teams that even when they're bad, because they've looked bad at times this year, they're also capable of putting really good games together. So this is not like a typical – there's like levels to 6 and 9 teams. Like if we were going to play – I don't even know the Colts right now, I would not be stressed. I hate to say it. No disrespect to the Colts. I'd be like, whatever. I don't know what the Saints record is, but a little bit worse, but similar. Like, I just wouldn't be worried. 49ers, I think you still got to show up and bring your A game.
They got some good players on their team, and I think this kind of segues into us talking more about them moving forward. If you want to just go over the injuries really quickly, it's looking good for us injury-wise. I mean, there's a lot of guys out on the IR, but as far as like just injured players this week, David Montgomery, I mean, the fact that he's even on this list is awesome. We thought he was toast for the rest of the season. Did not practice. All right, come back in the playoffs, buddy. You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right. Tough as nails, knuckles. And then Terrion's out with an illness. Illness.
Take some Motrin.
Yeah, Motrin, Dayquil. Get the fuck back out. He'll be back. He doesn't need to listen to me. He'll be back out there. Yeah. Maybe wear a mask and play. I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, get like Jahmyr Gibbs had that full mask on his face on accident.
Right. But their team can't say the same. They actually have both their starting guards are injured. That's Aaron Banks and Spencer Burford, however you say his name.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question.
But they both did not practice today, and they are their starting guards.
And by the way, they're already, I believe, on their third center, or they're basically one of their better starters. I can't remember if he played guard or center to start the year, but John Feliciano is out. Trent Williams out. So Spencer Burford is the backup. Colton McKivitz looks like was limited practice, so he'll probably play, but that's another one to watch. They might be down 3, even 4 of their top 6, 7 offensive linemen for us, which is nice because we have, candidly, it's not the strongest D line right now. So it's kind of almost a mitigating nice factor where our weakness is not going to be as exposed because their biggest weakness is a mirror image of ours.
Right. And yeah, like you said, we're going to need it every little bit of injury we can get on the other side of the ball.
It's gonna be
but it's looking good. And Jalen Reeves-Maybin is full practice again, and so is Khalif Raymond. So those guys are coming back I don't think they played last week.
No, they did not. And honestly, I was a little bit surprised to see Khalif. I think they restart his clock, said he might play this week. If he doesn't, he'll play next week. I'm just happy to get him back. Him, Jalen Reeves-Maybin, some of these guys that they are glue guys. And there is a difference between them and pure practice squad guys. Pure practice squad guys can have a good game.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these glue guy backup utility guys can have a bad game. But if you take it over the course of a 5 games, stretch, give me Khalif Raymond over whoever the replacement would be, or give
Tom
me Jalen
Kennedy. He was receiving the kickoffs and punts, which was cool to see.
Yeah, no, I like those guys. I root for those guys. Pat O'Connor's and Al-Qadim Muhammad have played their ways into probably bigger roles, either with us or with someone else next year. But at the end of the day, would you rather have them, or would you rather have a guy who was voted one of the team captains and was all pro at this special teams position? And I'm not saying that they obviously don't. That's not analogous because they don't play the same position. I'm just saying that level of player versus.
Right. No, we knew that. We get that.
So, by the way, on the injury front, they also have some injuries along the front seven of their defense. So Dre Greenlaw, really good linebacker. Everyone, talks about, rightfully so, by the way, everyone talks about Fred Warner, who's been awesome. By the way, I think playing on a broken ankle or something. Something's wrong with his foot. He's just a beast. But Dre Greenlaw is an awesome kind of Robin to his Batman. One of the reasons that their defense has been so good for so long. And you got Leonard Floyd, who's also a good D lineman for them. Not as great this year, limited in practice. So lots of injuries. Even the running back, Isaac Garenda, who's their third string running back, still limited in practice. And if he can't go, I'll tell you what, I started Patrick Taylor in the fantasy semifinals last week. Got lucky to win. He was cheeks.
Did you not so? Oh, yeah, you did. Wait, how's your fantasy team doing this week?
No one's played yet, but Jordan's first two players went absolutely bonkers. So it's not looking good. Let me tell you who. I know no one cares about fantasy teams, but let me tell you who I'm trotting out there versus who Jordan's trotting out there for this title game. Two players I thought were going to play for me in this title game about 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. This is who I thought my three running backs were going to be: Alvin Kamara, Isaiah Pacheco, Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey obviously on IR. We all know the saga of McCaffrey. Kamara, rightfully so. The Saints stink, and he's probably just like, why would I keep playing the season? And then Pacheco has not looked great since he came back. They probably rushed him back, or at least monitoring his workload. So here's who I'm starting running back. Actually, only two: Tyjae Spears, Tyrone Tracy Jr. Fine, but eh. In my flex, I have Jalen McMillan of Tampa. So that's my that's three of my skills. I also have Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's awesome, Garrett Wilson, who's whatever, and Brock Bowers and Jaden Daniels. So it's not like I have nobody, but Jordan has Josh Allen, Derrick Henry, Chuba Hubbard, Justin Jefferson, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Travis Kelce, Jonathan Taylor. So it's just an absolute Death Star, all Avengers level lineup. And look, if I win this, I'm going to talk so much shit. I'm going to be relentless. I'm going to be brutal. I'm probably going to make people dislike me for a week or two. That's fine. Because I'm going to take that money. I'm going to spend all that money I just spent on that furnace going right back in my pocket.
Disgusting.
Either way.
Disgusting. I think you're enemy number one. Everybody wants to see your team do horrible. And if Jordan's got to be the winner, then Jordan's got to be the winner.
Hey,
although I do think you would choose a good punishment for Jacob. For those of you that don't know, loser is Jacob, locked in, the biggest Lions fan over here, or average Lions fan, excuse me. And the winner of the league, not only do they win the money, they get to choose what Jacob has to wear in a 5K. So
I'm excited.
I think you have some good ideas, at least from what we've been brainstorming. Or just talk it through.
I'll tell you this right now. It's going to be great. He's a good sport. He'll do it. We'll wait till it's a little warmer so we can get more creative with the outfits. And Jordan, no offense, Jordan, I don't know if he even listens to this, if he's a real friend or a fake friend, but he would probably pick an outfit. But by the way, even if I don't win, I already have $300 of all your money. So if I come in second, so yeah, I'll treat myself to something
Connor's
nice.
Giving $300 to second place? I thought they just got their money back.
No, you got to go look at the payouts, buddy. So
Mr. Winner Take All set it up like that? What
a
dumbass loser. God.
Talk to him. Anyways.
I'm asking for my money back after that fucked up trade.
Anyways. So the 49ers, I do think that it will be a better game than I'm initially thinking. Although the Lions have given up, and this is a fun fact I looked up because I was initially contemplating for our prop bets later, the over on George Kittle yards. I think it's around 68 or 60 maybe. I'm taking the under on that, actually. I'm flipping it because the Lions, and not to put the cart before the horse, the Lions have allowed the fewest fantasy points to tight ends in the league this year. The league. And that reflects in how many touchdowns they let up. They've only let up 3 touchdowns the entire year. 56 receptions, 528 yards. Per game, they're giving up 35 yards to opposing tight ends. 35. They're giving up a touchdown every 5 games, basically. So you compare that to other teams. I mean, it's not perfect, but the Lions have a great I guess, game plan to stop tight ends. I'm trying to think, have they played great tight ends? I mean, Tucker Kraft is a good tight end. Cole Kmet,
He's
it's a
good.
level down, but a good tight end. Jake Ferguson's not bad. I mean, we haven't played anybody of Kittle's that's, standing this year, but that being said, we apparently lock up tight ends. And I think the other nice part about that is Deebo Samuel's taken a big step back. He does not look like the Deebo of old. They don't have Christian McCaffrey, and they don't even have his backup, Jordan Mason, who was doing well. Isaac Guerendo's solid, but he's going to be limping. Jawan Jennings, or John, I think it's Jennings. I keep forgetting his name, even though I had him on my fantasy team at one point. Jawan Jennings, great player, but he's like it's almost like a Josh Reynolds from last year type of player in my mind. Like a really good. If he's your third receiver, that's really good. If he's your second receiver, that's solid. If he's your best receiver, that's bad. And he is their best receiver right now. So he's not crazy scary to me. He's a good player, but not crazy scary. Ricky Pearsall is a burner. He can run, but that's kind of our strength of our secondary is the physicality and the speed. So I think we'll be okay there, especially with TA. I think he's a pretty quick corner, and I think we got some good cover to the top. So I think we can key in a little bit more on Kittle is my point, because I don't think their receivers are that strong, and I don't think their offensive line is that strong to run the ball. So I don't know, man. I just don't see how they put up a lot of points unless our defense just doesn't show up to play.
I agree. I mean, our defense shows a little bit of weakness, but I mean, my only concern is that they still have enough weapons on offense to get the ball moving, and as long as we play the bend don't break, I think we'll be all right. As far as their offense goes, maybe if we can get some pressure on Purdy, make that little weak bitch fucking squirm. Little Purdy.
I like your teeth, boy.
But yeah, George Kittle, I honestly hate that guy. Not gonna lie. I know the whole everybody watching, they love that silly, goofy, dumb fucker. I don't. I watched that receiver show. I said that guy fucking sucks, and he's best friends with scumbag Bosa. That dumb bastard. He's like good friends with him. Makes you wonder what kind of guy Kittle is. When those cameras are off. So I don't like the guy. I think he's fake goofy. I think that shit's corny, and I don't know. I don't like him. I mean, he's a fine player. Don't get me wrong. I don't like when he got Aiden that one time. That made me sick. That'll never happen again. And yeah, the goofy shit catches too. Fucking talking to George Karlaftis in the Super Bowl, damn near costing them the game. You can't just blame it all on him. But guy's a bozo, and I can't wait for him to be bad. So I hope you're right about all that.
I like that you've stayed consistent in hating him. If obviously you guys are not all part of our group chat as friends, but this moment that show came out and George watched it, instantly the first reaction was, even before talking about Amon Ra, who's obviously our kind of hometown guy, was Kittle is cornball, basically just ripping on Kittle.
Hard to watch, and I wasn't the only person that thought that.
No, you weren't. No,
and I was like, ugh, this guy. I mean, if people are falling for that as like a silly, goofy, good guys, like you guys are just getting played constantly right to your face.
I think it's genuine. I just think it's a little corny. I think he's the type of guy where if he wasn't like a stud athlete and wasn't like an all like world work ethic type of guy, it would come off a lot less endearing. Like if he was just some dude from your hometown that was in sales or was in like some sort of trade or something.
Bang, 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 click, reload, bang, 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 bang. That's what it would be. Right.
Blow your head off with a musket for sure. Revolver, whatever type of pistol or handgun you want to use to blow your head off. That's what you're probably doing. But yeah, no, he would suck.
That's inappropriate. Sorry.
No, look, gun violence is funny. But I think he's out, and you got to keep that in. But he's not great. And also, by the way, their top three threats other than him are out. McCaffrey, Debo. I mean, Debo just stinks now. And Ayuk. So compared to last year when they had like this just cachet of weapons, I think they stink this year on like in terms of weapons. The only
is Debo? What's his deal? What's Debo's deal? That's who I'm like a little bit like. He could have just a good game this game.
He could. He's old. I think he's old. A lot of guys. He's not even old. He's literally young. He probably went to graduate high school the same year as us. I bet. because he's 28 and born in January of '96. But a lot of dudes just can't accept when they're a little bit past their prime. I feel like, especially when it happens relatively younger, because it's only a 7th season in the league. Like, I just feel like a lot of guys, they don't age gracefully. They don't go out of the game gracefully. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they just decide that.
They got a lot of divas on that team. I feel like a lot of divas. Devo, Ayuk, Chris McCaffrey's, I don't think a diva.
I don't
Kittle's
think so.
not a diva, but annoying.
I actually think it's just the two. It's just the receivers. Which receiver is the most common position to be a diva?
I guess you're right.
DBs and receivers.
What about their defense? What are we thinking? I can't wait to just talk shit about what's his name? Bosa. I'll be honest. I was once talking to a girl and she's like, "I love Nick Bosa," and I was like, "Ugh."
I mean,
I'd never really experienced the ick before. And I was like, "Ugh." I was like, "That's tough." I was like, "That's gone."
He is. Let's just be candid. Stupidly sexy. I mean, he's a great looking guy. However, just an absolute. And look, politics aside, let's say you're a MAGA person listening to the show. That's okay. Drew, I think is.
It's not even what I'm saying. Nick Bosa's weird too. You listen to the way he talks. He's got mafia ties too. I don't fuck with that guy.
His family comes from money. You know where that money is? It's from killing a bunch of minorities and people, shop owners who wouldn't pay his grandpa money. Is that slander? God forbid. God forbid. The man's allowed to wear political paraphernalia on the field. We're not allowed to talk about how the mafia is a scumbag criminal organization. Love Tony Soprano. Love him. But
as a character, I'd hate the man in real life.
Oh my God, if I heard about what he did in real life, I'd say hang him from the rafters, buddy.
Jesus. Yeah, so
I think that dumb greaseball Italian. Shout out to
all right. Slow down.
No, it's okay. You're allowed to be racist if they're white. Sorry, that sounds like something Drew would say. Ironically, no, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna stop. All right. This is going on.
Drew's getting dragged too a little bit. He's following Bosa.
Well, I think Kane's doing the let's hear both sides perspective these days. So we've got the far left George, we've got the far right Drew. It's got rational and balanced take me. No, I'm just kidding.
You're completely irrational.
The front seven of the 49ers is pretty banged up. It's usually their best unit. Dre Greenlaw's probably not going to play. Leonard Floyd might not play. Bosa's been in and out of the lineup. Fred Warner's got some sort of injury. He's still playing.
Why is he playing? Are they on the playoff cusp? What is their record?
I mean, unless I missed something, he's still playing.
He is still playing, but that's what I'm saying. If he's actually got a broken ankle, is he a dumbass? Like, I know he's an amazing player and should be he Hall of Famer, all this and that, but sheesh.
I think he's one of those guys, man. I think he's one of those guys that literally cannot help it. I think he's like one of those dudes who just loves football, works his ass off. Like I think he's just like a beat. Honestly, he's probably my favorite 49ers player. I think I wish he was on a team that we didn't play last year in the conference finals, because he's the type of guy you root for. Just a baller, bro. He's a beast. He's literally like a beast on the field.
What is this injury? Is it a broken ankle? If it's a broken ankle, I'm calling bullshit. There's no way he's walking around with that fucking broken ankle. That's fucking.
I do actually wonder like how often they exaggerate shit. So he's got a fractured bone in his ankle. Now, that could be like some little rinky-dink ass bone that like you barely feel. It's like the equivalent of like, oh yeah, like those guys that work in a shop. They're like, yeah, I've had my joint popped out of my shoulder for about 10 years now. It's like, yeah, I mean, that sounds tough, but if you're doing your job, it can't be that bad.
Are they from the UP?
Sorry. Huh?
Are they from the UP with that accent?
The blue collar guys in Michigan. A lot of them got that little bit of twang to their voice, even if they never have gone north of Lansing.
I don't know about that. I've heard a lot of white trash guys talk. A lot different.
Whoa!
If you never worked in a blue collar world, a lot of white trash. Classist. Come on. I've worked in shops. Are you shitting me?
I've
some
also
horrific
worked
men in there.
There's
horrific men everywhere, even on the defensive line of the 49ers. But, Fred Warner, broken, fractured, whatever the fuck, fake. Either useless bone, useless bone, or they're stretching this story. No chance. That or or he's dumb and should definitely be taking this game off because I don't know. I think we should stomp on his ankle.
Fraudulent Freddy. He doesn't have an injury. All right. Well, I do think that their defense is going to be solid, but I think our offense will dictate the game again. I think it really is about limiting big plays. I think that's, again, our bend don't break defense. If we can, limit them to field goals on 50% of the red zone trips, that's really even when we were fully healthy, that was our bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
Our bread and butter all season has been bend don't break. It's very rarely is our defense, because our defense wants to do a couple things. I think earlier in the year when everyone was healthy, I think it was big play takeaways.
Mm-hmm.
And teeing up for sacks. Now the sacks are a little bit less now because Aiden's hurt, McNeil's hurt. I think that also kind of negates how aggressive we can be with the takeaways. But we've been a bend don't break defense. Sometimes it has a negative connotation, like when Patricia came in with his poop ass defense and his lucky runs to the Super Bowl with like all world talent on the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
But I think AG's got some good schemes, and if we can keep them they go to the red zone 5 times or whatever it is, like the Bears did 6 times, and kick a field goal, score 2 touchdowns, and don't convert on 2 of them, we'll win against almost any team. You know what I mean? If you can limit, because our offense is going to be able to move the ball. It just is.
I just think our offense is just they shouldn't be able to keep up with our offense. Truthfully,
no,
I don't think so.
No. So, what are we thinking? What's your score prediction for this one?
Score prediction? Do you think it's going to be high? I wonder. I don't think it's going to be high. I think it's going to be 28-17. That's what I'll say.
Okay, I don't hate it. Yeah, I do think they have a slightly better defense than the Bears, but I do see us putting up I see it putting up some points. So I'm going to go 27-20. My final score is 27-20. I think we do exactly what I said. They move the ball a little bit down the field, couple conversions, a couple field goals, and our offense just gets one more trip to the red zone, one more touchdown out of it. So I like us to win. It's one of those games I feel like where you're never like, oh, this game's totally out of hand for the other team, but like one team's kind of in control for most of it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, candidly, obviously I want them to win, but the game I'm most interested in this weekend is a game that's not the Lions, just the Vikings and the Packers. And half of me is conflicted in saying like, go Pack, go, because I would love to rest the starters week 18 if we can win against the 49ers and have that 1 seed locked up. Half of me is like, let's beat the shit out of the Vikings again and win the game. But regardless, that game will be interesting to me to see kind of what our week 18 will be like, and hope potentially the playoffs.
Right. It is going to be weird. Will we know? I guess we won't know. What's Vikings' record right now? They're 1 under us.
So they have the same record, but we have the tiebreaker based on
wins
currently
right now.
The real one is conference record. If they beat us, however, like let's say they beat the Vikings and we both go into that game 14-2, they would straight up have the better record if they beat us. So they need to win both games. We need to win. If we win the 49ers game, it's ours. If both teams win or both teams lose this weekend, then week 18 is for the division and for the 1 seed.
Right. Okay. That's kind of what I thought. Ugh. This is how it goes, man. We were talking NFC North to be one of the toughest. So here we are.
I just didn't see the Vikings at the beginning of the season. This is the team I thought would be the worst out of the 4. But I'm sure if we go back and listen, we'd be cringing at what we said about the Vikings to start the year. But whatever.
Right. We were dog walking them early. But hey, whatever. I mean, we were expecting J.J. McCarthy rookie ass out there. I don't know if you're going to get
Pingu.
I don't think he's going to be better than Redhead.
But no, there's no way Pingu is better than Sam Darnold.
Pingu? What's Pingu? Why you call him Pingu?
No, he's just useless. He's just out there.
Is that the penguin guy?
Oh, yeah.
The claymation?
Oh,
the
yeah.
claymation guy. I like Wallace and Gromit and Chicken Run, actually. I like those.
So, a certain classmate of ours that was scared of Chicken Run. That always made me remember that.
You're right, Chicken Run. He's scared of chickens, and he peed himself in school when we had indoor lunch and we watched Chicken Run.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Let's do these bets. What are these props? What do we got props this week?
All right.
Oh, we should talk about we didn't do any last week for the Chicago game. Obviously, we didn't do a preview or anything, so we didn't have any of that. So we're all off.
Who got what right on the Bills game though?
You got that right with St. Brown over 68.5. I got mine wrong. Josh Allen under 36.5, which mine was bold, not gonna lie, but I was really hoping we would just shut that shit down, but never mind.
Didn't go to plan.
There she goes. All right, you already kind of said yours out loud, and I wasn't gonna take that. Do you want that?
Yeah, I'm going to go the under on George Kittle at 69.5. It's a little counterintuitive because he's really their biggest threat, but I do think they're
68.5?
69.5.
69.5. Just 1/2 away from a great number. All right. But anyways, okay, that's a good one. I'm going to take, this is a goofy one. You ready for this?
Oh, yeah.
And this doesn't mean much, so don't people start getting the wrong idea. Ricky Pearsall over 1.5 receptions. Easy.
Yeah, that's that one. Come on.
Hopefully. He had 4 in the last game, 1 in the game before that, 1 in the game before that. So, I don't know. I like that. I'll take that.
Let me give the people just a little extra something to make this a 3-leg parlay. It's not going to be my official bet of the weekend, but just tell me if you disagree. I like the Lions to cover the spread, 3.5. Make it a 3-leg parlay, Lions to cover.
Lions to cover. Okay. Add that in there. Yeah, so do you got any last words for this? Anything to the guys that didn't show up today? Maybe they'll listen?
Yeah, I'll just say this. I mean, it takes hard work and dedication to be the best. It takes sometimes you got to sacrifice, you got to cancel vacations, you got to, step up to the plate. And it's easy to be warm and toasty and enjoying a margarita or enjoying a luau or, not having cell service, even though you're in the domestic United States. But
right.
It's hard to do what we do. We get up every day, put on our pants. It's -5 degrees Celsius here. And we just go to work. And so
wake up at noon, miss dinner, sometimes you gotta work late. Gotta put the time in, and didn't quite get that out of the guys this week.
No. And you know what? It's in a way nice because if Drew was involved, the parlay would be tanked already. And Kane would be yapping about how he's the best, even though I'm creeping up on him. So
you are. That's actually fun. I like that you're creeping up on him, and because he's been getting a little cocky,
and no predictions for 3 games straight for him. So I think we're gonna have quite a few predictions for that last game.
Yeah, he's been slacking. So give Kane a hard time in the comments. Give Drew a hard time too. Yeah, Mr.
Give us
Hawaii.
a good time though.
Good time. We're here for you.
Also, one guy, not the end of the year, but there's a couple people behind the scenes to help us out. I think it's good to give them a shout out now because next week might be hectic, and then we go into the playoffs, and who knows. So, Diener Wiener 1, otherwise known as Dean Martin, and not referencing the singer from the middle of the 20th century. He does all the graphics you see. They're great. We all love him. Best graphics guy in the game.
Yeah, he's really good with Microsoft Paint. My type of dude.
The best, if you will. They call him the painter. That's not even good. And then we've also got Chris Acevedo. I don't know if I'm saying that right, Chris. Please correct me in the comments if we put this as a reel, but he's doing a lot of the marketing for us, helping us think about how to do social media stuff. So if you saw this on TikTok, which is apparently where we get the most views, so I might need to re-download the app. He's responsible for that, I believe, and and shout out to George and Kane for always editing the videos.
I just sometimes sit with Kane, so don't give me too much credit. I'm more for just just helping him along, giving him a little creative touch to everything. You know, sometimes Kane's got that meathead type shit, and he doesn't think straight. But
True.
Yeah, shout out to all the guys, especially Dean, especially Chris, who don't get to show their faces. Shout out to Jacob, he's right there too with them. You know, listening, giving, popping in from time to time. We actually need to get him back on here to do some more questions and figure out who is the biggest loser.
Yeah, he's got one more. I think he's one more question set of 5, right?
I think so. Yeah, one more question set of 5, and then pray to God he gets them right. Hopefully he's been studying. He's had a lot of time off. He's been a busy guy too with his own life in over in Bar Harbor. But yeah, shout out to those guys. They're involved in this each week, day in, day out. I mean, we do have to communicate every day, so shout out to them. They're big help, and love those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last thing I'll say about Jacob is we should get him on. If we get the 1 seed, we should get him on during that bye week to finish. And if not, we'll do it after the Super Bowl.
Oh, that'd be fun. Hopefully, if we get that bye week, we'll have a fun episode. We'll plan something fun for you guys, actually. I didn't even think of that. Woo! That'll be a fun week.
Might even post nude.
Maybe. OnlyFans.com/GHate. Anyways, as always, you guys can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube at Lions Main Podcast. Thank you for listening, and peace out. Go Lions.
Remember to kiss your mom.
This is
Merry Christmas,
Lions
Happy
Main
Hanukkah, Happy
Podcast.
Holidays.
You forgot Kwanzaa.